So today we're going to be going over the top 8 most iconic weapons in gaming, the most iconic starting weapons in gaming. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. At number 8, we have Assassin's Creed's Assassin's Hidden Blade. While the Assassin's Creed series has been a staple of the open world game landscape for nearly 20 years, a remarkable number of the franchise core elements can be traced back to Ubisoft's Intrigato title of 2007's Assassin's Creed introduced players to the Templars, the Order of Assassins, and showpiece weapons of the Hidden Blade. Although Altair has had his ring finger removed to fit the Order of Assassins' signature weapon, the payoff that players receive when utilizing its deadly power is worth it. It can kill most enemies with a single blow, and it can deal fatal damage upon successful counters. With this blade, Assassin's Creed offers players an effective edge to dispatch enemies early on, while also providing a host of swords and daggers to play with as well. Yeah, I can't disagree with this being number 8. It is super iconic. Assassin's Creed has been around since I was in high school, and it's been doing its thing for like a long time. So it's a good game. I don't disagree with it being number 8. Whether it should be higher or not remains to be seen, given the other iconic weapons that I can think of that are going to be on this list. But this is a good starting point, and at one point or another, Assassin's Creed was kind of like a game that I would play like every time it would come out, and I really miss when Assassin's Creed used to be this good. But but whatever. At number 7, Bioshock: The Wrench. Even with a vast arsenal of creative firepower from crossbows to grenade launchers, the wrench will always be iconic to Bioshock. In addition to its faded red iconography, the wrench's reliability and versatility make it a stable choice for the player's first steps with Rapture to their last. Working with partnership with Bioshock's various tonics and plasma abilities, the wrench 1-2 punch effectiveness against even the most dangerous enemies in the game is insurmountable. Bolstered by the player's use of stealth and buffs afforded by diligent use of the camera item, the wrench is not only a core symbol of Bioshock, but a dangerous weapon in its own right. Yeah, I think I've seen a gameplay of a guy taking down a Big Daddy with a wrench, and in terms of iconicness, even though this game was spoiled for me and I never got to get that great feeling that Bioshock gave everybody else with the twist, it was just kind of spoiled for me. Bioshock is iconic. It has one of the best stories of that generation. Probably one of the top 3 games, and not to mention the wrench is also super iconic because of that. It's Bioshock. Almost every single Bioshock has been really good, except for part 2. But we don't talk about that. Like, some people like it, whatever. But the wrench is iconic, and I think it comes out in almost every single game, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's a great weapon. And not to mention, it kind of fits the tone of the game. Like, for some reason, smacking the crap out of somebody who has gone crazy because of their superpowers, kind of fits like the theme of Bioshock, the darkness, the grittiness, everything that is in the game, the story. And if I'm not mistaken, you smack the crap out of a lot of important people with this wrench. So it's iconic. And let's not smack people in the face with wrenches. This one was a little unexpected considering that it's more of a modern game, but I will agree the gun felt very good. At number 6, Control, service weapon. The incredible versatility and customization of the service weapon is a tactical aspect of Control's gameplay loop. Yet the initial grip configuration of the object of power can potentially see a player throughout the entirety of the game's 12-hour runtime. While it can be altered into further configuration that excel at close quarters engagements or even charge up a deadly bolt, the service weapon shows arguably the most utility in its grip style. Its effective places damage downfield and can still be upgraded and modified in the same manner as later configuration. Players can combat even the most defensive Hiss forces by fully utilizing this form. Yeah, I really like Control. I thought that the weapon in the game was really just kind of innovative. It wasn't innovative it's doing something different, but it was innovative because I had never seen something like Metroidvania-ish gun Like, yeah, we all know Samus's like plasma rifle in the beginning of the weapon, or it's not a plasma rifle, but you get to that point. It's starting beam gun essentially. They put it into a gun and they put it into a third-person shooter, and it does really well. I know they've done Metroid Prime, and that's in there, but the way Control did it was very satisfying. It was a really fun game. I think that this game doesn't get enough love, to be honest with you. And for sure, the gun is iconic, but I'm not sure if it should be this high up on the list. We'll see. Like, if they left out some other like configurations, I would have preferred for them to put Samus's like beam rifle in this game, or beam arm cannon in this level, but we'll see what is next. At number 5, Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, the lightsaber. It could be argued that all Star Wars fan wants to do in video games set in a galaxy far, far away is to get their hands on a lightsaber, such as it makes sense that in Raven Software Star Wars Jedi Knights titles, even though players can unleash a whole arsenal of blasters on the enemy, the iconic laser sword is often the player's best bet. While blasters are an understandable choice for ranged combat in Jedi Knight games, the fact that lightsaber users can send even the most explosive projectiles back at the players is a glaring flaw, such as with the axis and varied styles available for lightsaber combat. The destructive and defensive capabilities of players when wielding one is unparalleled. This one feels a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little conflicted on this one, because first of all, it's not that the lightsaber should be on here, it's the fact that they picked Star Wars Jedi Knight when Knights of the Old Republic is like literally sitting right there. Like, it's literally sitting right there, and it's probably one of the best starting weapons that you get in Knights of the Old Republic. Or they could even use like Knights of the Old Republic, the online version that they made with BioWare. It's not that the lightsaber shouldn't be on here. It just feels weird that they picked Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. I know that a lot of people like this game, but out of all games that they picked to choose to put on it is really, really good. That's neither here nor there. The laser sword or the lightsaber should be on here, and yeah, what more can you say about the iconic laser sword that everybody uses in Star Wars? Like, of course it's gonna be on here, you know what I mean? At number 4, Tomb Raider 2013, the bow. Despite a successful career while wielding her classic dual handguns, when the adventures of Lara Croft were rebooted with the release of 2013's Tomb Raider, they were effectively replaced by the versatility afforded by the bow and arrow. A unique trait of Square Enix survival trilogy of the Tomb Raider titles, the bow allowed players to deal a deadly amount of damage. It also allowed them to retrieve ammunition and employ a stealth-like approach if they wished. Upgradable from makeshift longbow in Tomb Raider's opening hours to a modern compound bow, Laura uses the bow not only as a lethal weapon, but an aid to exploring and puzzle solving. Following Laura in all 3 of the most contemporary mainline installments, the bow can be ditched for a range of explosive firearms, but little can compete with its versatility and lethality throughout the titles. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about this. I don't think that it shouldn't be on here, because Lara Croft's, like, the Tomb Raider 2013 was really good. It was a really good game. I think a lot of the old school players were a little upset that it wasn't like the older game and a little bit like that version of Tomb Raider, but this one was really good. My boy Corey Bolog, who I love so much, who helped with God of War, well, actually didn't help, but directed the God of War reboot, and also wrote and produced God of War Ragnarok. He did a good job on this game. I think he didn't direct it, but he had a hand in writing Tomb Raider 2013. The bow in the game is really good. It does almost a little bit of everything in the game. It helps, like I said, it helps you with exploration, it helps you with killing enemies, and also, like, this is one of those games where you want to take your stealthiness a little bit seriously. You want to take out a couple enemies stealthy here and there. Yeah, this game is really good. It really established Tomb Raider in the modern era, and it kind of, if you haven't played the Uncharted series, it was really dominating that whole Lara Croft Tomb Raider scene for like the longest time. And it was nice to see that Tomb Raider came back and kind of not took its throne back, but put itself as a player that can compete with Uncharted. And the bow was just super iconic. Like they did a good job. While you do get your dual pistols back, you don't get it to like the very end of the game. And I think in the second game, like they do more of that. And so yeah, the bow is great. I don't really see it like a problem with it being on number 4. This one's a little surprising. I didn't really expect this to be on the list. Pokemon Red and Blue, the starter Pokemon. The concept of denoting a player's Pokemon pals as weapons is somewhat arguable, but as the only way of engaging in combat within Pokemon Red and Blue versions, they are effectively just that. As such, with their high base stats and effective type coverage, the starter Pokemon's original titles are some of the most pocket monsters in the entire game. Plenty of players feel understandably nostalgic and attachment towards their choice of Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur, but beyond that, the fact that players can blaze through the titles many challenge wielding the power of only their single starter. This is proof that their power is second to none. While Bulbasaur is the best starter Pokemon in all these, and I will not argue with any of y'all about this, he's the best, he's the GOAT, he's in back of me for a reason. You can't see him, he's hiding. But yeah, like, I guess like Pokemon can be considered weapons. I mean, like they literally do mass destruction in the game and in the anime. And you can't argue that the Pokemon, like at least from Red and Blue, Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur aren't iconic. To this day, they're still some of the most powerful Pokemon out there. Like Charmander, Charizard is one of the few Pokemon that can go head to head with Mewtwo, and so like they still are super powerful. They're still super iconic, and you can't say A, that they're not powerful, and B, that they're not iconic. And it's arguable whether they're a weapon or not, but like that's neither here nor there. Like for sure they create, like this is the only way you can attack in Pokemon, so like yeah, I kind of have to agree that they are a weapon. And like if you do consider them a starter weapon, it is essentially how do you say it, like can be on the list as a weapon, you know what I mean? So like a starter weapon. And if you consider it a starter weapon, you can't say that it's not iconic. Number 1, Halo Combat Evolved M6D Magnum. It may not come loaded, but the M6D Magnum, bestowed to the Master Chief on the dawn of the inaugural adventure on the installation of O4, is arguably more powerful than even the most destructive capabilities of the UNSC or the Covenant. Fire bombastic 40 SAPHE rounds at the enemy, the stopping power afforded to the player with the Magnum can rip through the enemy's infantry and armor alike. With minimal bullet spread, a 2x scope, and the ability to kill unshielded enemies with one shot in the head, the Magnum, as it appears in Halo Combat Evolved, is incredibly powerful. While Halo's assault rifle or the battle rifle may hold the place of Master Chief's poster weapon, the Magnum sidearm is never far behind. Yeah, I have to disagree with this one. Like, wow, yes, the pistol is super iconic, and Halo is super iconic as well. I probably would have put Metroid or Samus in the list with her arm cannon. I think the arm cannon is a little bit more iconic than Halo. There's no argument that Halo's more popular, but in terms of like iconicness and like importance to like even like Halo itself of a game in totality, I would argue that this shouldn't be number 1. It should be lower, but it shouldn't be number 1. I love look, that's neither here nor there. The weapon is cool and it is iconic. Like I had a lot of fun with the first Halo when I was a kid. There was nothing like Halo when it first came out. The pistol, I remember some of my friends exclusively using the pistol in multiplayer games and just completely wrecking with it. So like whether or not like it's iconic is neither here nor there. It is iconic, it is powerful, and yeah, like if you get somebody in multiplayer shield down and you shoot them with the Magnum, you more than likely are gonna get a headshot kill. So like it is a super powerful weapon, even in the Halo universe itself, which by the way, the Halo universe has extremely powerful units, and the fact that this gun can do like headshots to like aliens with armor is ridiculous. So like yeah, this is Game Rant's top 8 starter weapons. I was about to say Pokemon, but yeah, this is their list. If you want to go check it out, go to GameRant.com. They have it all there. This was published like 3 years ago, so you'll have to do some digging. But yeah, this is their list. Also, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and watch the video all the way through. And if you made it all the way through, make sure to tell me that you made it all the way through in the comment section. And remember, you're pretty good.